Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, we're live on a Thursday, September 16th at 11:47 a.m. And today is a day that convictions start being tested. Convictions are always being tested. You guys are trying to figure out, do I buy something? Do I sell something? Do I hold something? Do I hodl something? We're always tested in how we view the markets. Now, most, and including myself historically, we had anxiety. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know when should we sell something. Are we going to lose money? I'm finding more and more conviction more recently and less anxiety. You know, I do get emotions on a day like today. Evergrande's bonds have been halted. It's a $300 billion shit pile, which is basically Lehman Brothers out in China. And Lehman Brothers took down the global financial system. And what is the spillover when trading resumes or whatever the hell unfolds um, for the Evergrande bonds? Now, there's some logical ways to think about it, that they get liquidated for what? For sovereign fiat. And then the whole system is flaky and faith is lost. And where are they going to put the capital? Are they going to put the capital in the domestic Chinese markets? Logically, my mind goes to what I've been tweeting this morning. You deploy capital from underperforming markets to outperforming. And the least shit market is the U.S. markets, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, so on and so forth, S&P. So that's why we see such charts like this. This is the S&P futures. It just rides the 50 SMA for the entire year. And every time there's bearishness, it hits that 50 SMA and finds its support. It's been driving traders nuts because there's no price discovery. Because where's the capital coming from? It's coming from a variety of places. The increase in circulating capital within domestically, and also international capital that has no other place to go. This chart is going up, therefore, that's where people are parking capital because it's going up, and it goes up because it goes up until it doesn't. If you want your fear meter to peak, you look at the spend wedges, and that this is the biggest rising wedge in history. It's the biggest market cap to GDP ratio in history. But it's a global market unlike anything before in history. And where is the capital going to go? It goes to the least shit market. The Forex markets go to the least shit Forex, which is Brent Johnson's hypothesis that the dollar goes up. Now, inverse correlation between various markets will drive you nuts. You look for patterns, you look for these relationships. That's not where I find my conviction. And I don't find my conviction that the crypto space is an alternative or it's the antithesis of legacy markets. I find it to be an enjoyable market, a good market, a positive market, an inspirational market, a market that makes sense. Whereas the securities markets, I find, don't make sense. So my conviction in the crypto space comes from the fact that it makes sense to me. It's like, oh, where am I going to deploy capital in this world? Yeah, I don't want to have my damn curve position because the monetary policy makes sense to me. It makes sense why people want it. It makes sense where the value generation comes from, all the characteristics of its monetary policy that I so often discuss. It makes sense. GDP is going to roll over. People are broke. Wages, yeah, maybe they say they're increasing. You get these statistics out of the gov. I see just stagnation. I see the people that own assets have been doing well, and the people that are making $12 an hour, $15 an hour. You're not getting anywhere slow. Slow, not even fast. You're just not getting anywhere. It's brutal. GDP will roll over. Discretionary income will roll over. The debt ceiling still hasn't been raised. A couple of tweets this morning, and I agree with them, and I just like to poke the bear quite often, but they'll raise the debt ceiling because if they don't, the financial system collapses. It's past the point of no return. Everything is too big to fail. Interventionism is at an extreme. I think Luke Groman's assessment makes the most sense, comparing it to the Weimar hyperinflation. We'll have our extreme deflationary impulses, but if they let the system contract and experience the full brunt of the deflationary impulse, the system will crumble. And the inflation will keep the system going. I don't see any other path forward, which means you're going to see some serious drawdowns, both in the equities markets. You can see 30, 40, 50, 60%. And then they juice it, just like they did in March of 2020. And you get that massive bump to the upside. And the system just continues. They're already in the bond market, full on. They're in the cash market, with the repos and the reverse repos. And QE, they're still buying, and they won't stop buying anytime soon. They're tapering, but it's a reduction, trivial, slow. It's going to take a long time. And I don't think they can take themselves out of the market, which means they're in control of the market, which means they're not going to see it go down. They're going to want it to go up. And what is the crypto space? It's better. It makes sense. So my conviction is stronger than ever. And I sleep well at night. Let's see who's in the stream. Zach's in the house. A pleasure. Goncalo. Good morning. A pleasure. Wave. Good morning. Mix. Jasol. Coffee. I still got my coffee. I got to finish it. Killis. Good morning. Avex and Joe. Yes. Got my two charts. He's here. Let's look at Joe real quick. Ooh, look at Joe go. I opted for Joe. In fact, my original Ethereum position went to AVAX, playing around, figuring out what the hell I'm going to do. But Joe's the productive asset. It's got the network effect. They'll have their debt markets. Joe could rip 10x and still not be in the top 50, on CoinGecko. And if it's cranking out 50% returns, Joe rips a 10x, 50% returns. Joe's a buyback asset. So platform transaction fees are used to buy Joe from the open market. So it has a constant buy pressure. And Joe's going to be involved in the debt market. So X Joe. I like it. And that's where I opted to park my what I used to have as an Ethereum position. It's not enough of a productive asset. The amount of capital going into the Avalanche ecosystem is probably larger, very much larger than what hit Polygon. It's larger than what's hitting Phantom. Yeah, it seems quite obvious. Arbitrum's picking up because that's going to get all the ETH community. That is not open to side chains, but the side chains have a big community. And I think Avalanche is going to get a lot of attention. Hence the chart. Hence the charts. So that's it's a percentage of the portfolio. You guys know. I'll give you the breakdown real quick. I mean, Ren's been ripping. Ren's been absolutely destroying it. Curve's it's up 57% for the week, so that's just obviously a massive percent of the portfolio. As you guys know, it was like 50%. Now it's like 60, 65%, which is crazy. I'm not adjusting, but I'm not experiencing taxable events. My positions are locked. I'm not doing taxable events. I want revenue streams. I look forward to paying income tax. I do not want to pay capital gains tax. I will avoid it at all costs for simplicity's sake and because I want to model this shit as a business. Ren's number two on my portfolio percentages. Spell rips seriously, 40% for the week. Spell is number three on my portfolio percentages. And Joe is up significantly as well since I converted from Ethereum, which has been doing okay. But Joe's up 90% for the week, so that has been a significant change in portfolio percentages. Cosmos has been ridiculous. So Cosmos is number five for my top six. Six assets in the portfolio are 90% of the portfolio. And FXS, Frax. So the stablecoin narrative, I think, might be the most important narrative in the crypto space. And the stablecoin narrative is three protocols slash assets. You got MIM, which has Spell. You have Frax, which has FXS. And you also have Keeper, which is Andre's Fixed Forex, which has KP3R. It's a moderately sized position. I had some small, relatively speaking. It's actually six, seven, eight. It's the ninth largest uh, position for the portfolio, with Polkadot and Bancor above it. If I had more capital, I'd probably deploy more capital to it. Would I do things differently? Historically, well, Polkadot's a legacy position, so it's not that um, its current position size is because it was taken at this size. It was bought for 90% less value. Same with Bancor. Bancor was down in the pennies, 30, 40 cents. 2020 status. So its position in the portfolio size is because of historical reasons. Um, Synthetics is after Keeper, and that is also a historic position. Do I really have that much Frax? I think I have to adjust that. I don't think I have that much. Let's go back to the stream. Um, that was some context where I'm at. Patrick, fortunate enough to have a spouse in more traditional finance, so I can all in crypto land. Yep. We did just liquidate a nice mutual fund for CVXCRV earlier this week, though. That was probably good timing. Um, speculatively, we could see some significant volatility. Wow, CVX looks serious. As CVX rips, you guys know yield goes up on CVX CRV, which will drive more capital inflow into Curve to lock for CVX CRV to reap the capital gains or the yield, the income. Curve is right on the threshold of a significant structural formation dating back to its inception. Its entire life is a triangular compression and is right on the line. A breach of this, and it'll run the fibs all the way up to $10. Um, I think that's inevitable, whether it breaks down. And we've only hit, well, we hit it twice. So it's quite the sloppy chart. It has a huge amount of circulating supply over the last 2 years, which has been significantly disrupted because of the convex effect. So I think, clearly the initial inflation period is distorted, and even the cycle ending, like a May of 2021 is quite distorted. And this is really where convex kicks in. So we could see another dip down, but I'm more inclined to see something of this if it is drawn out. Not a full retrace down to support, but a break inevitably. There's just too much circulating supply disruption. It's just being gobbled up to the point where it's a deflationary asset, a hyperinflationary asset that's net deflationary. Absolutely extraordinary. It's a value generating machine. So ipso facto, that's why it's my largest position. Patrick, 3 arrows, took a position in Joe. Next few weeks going to be a fun ride. Yeah, my sentiment is I'd like to see a 10x, which is crazy given where it was. And it's already ripped thousands of percent. But if we see another 10x, look at that big bump. Rips past $3. That's going to be a big deal. If we see a 10x there, I see it as a long-term play. It's a productive asset. It'll generate returns from transaction fees on the protocol, buying back Joe. That's what XJoe is, and XJoe will be folded into the lending market. They're debt markets and shit. Aave and Curve aren't even launched, and Joe is in position with network effect to be the primary AMM. Whereas Curve, yeah, they're working on AMM, but they're the Forex market. And also, Joe has the momentum on the platform. Curve is very synergistic. It's not really meant to dominate, and it doesn't need to. I see Curve as like the backstop. It uh, it ensures market functionality. It takes the overflow. Like something starts slipping, yeah, Curve's there to make sure that everything's working right. So it's kind of like just wow, 304. Wow, look at Joe go. That's crazy. Very crazy. Wave, I missed a bunch. Did it somewhere play, Patrick? Yep, yep. Can you show us how to vote with Vodium? I don't know. I don't have any Glock CVX. I don't hold CVX. I'm not interested in a CVX position. I've made mention that I think CVX is for protocols and CVX CRV is for the public. Breakless in the house. Good morning, pizza shop owners. Chris, living amongst them. Commercial real estate is going to get hit hard. Too many ghost companies. The whole system's a fucking shell. And no one's going back to work. Any professional, I'm not going back to an office. I'll go back to an office within reason, but I'm not going back 40 hours a week with 10 hours a week in traffic. No, I'm not doing that. I go back because it's important. Wow, 303. Joe's definitely breaking out. Um, I go back because it's important to be in person, talk, be social, and keep a good connection with the people you work with. But there's no reason to be in the office full time. Take care of business much more effectively at home, much better morale. You just feel better. I got my kids outside. I get to watch them grow up, and I'm just as productive. Can't force people to work. We work because we want to. I do the work I do for the company I work for because I want to. I think it is the most ridiculous idea. The company that I work for is a startup, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant what they've come up with. Anyway, Wave. Well, wonder if Curve will deploy to Flare. Probably. It's probably. I don't think it's EVM. I don't know what it means, but all I know is I look forward to Flare. We'll see what happens. JJ, good morning. ZXCXZ. Joe's even starting to run well against Daddy Avex. Yeah, I would opt for Joe over Avalanche. Um, Avalanche is a disinflationary asset. It's meaningful, but I don't like platform assets. I've shied away from them, even Ethereum. So Avalanche has the same monetary policy as Ethereum. It's disinflationary. All transaction fees are burned. That's some serious shit. But a protocol asset, a productive protocol asset that has appreciative monetary policy components. Yet Joe kind of hits that. And now I wish I saw it down here, but whatever. Portfolio is doing well. I'm not early and not late. Never early, never late. That's something I live by at this point. What do you think of Digibyte? Digibyte is an awesome UTXO technology that has significantly more merit than the Bitcoin protocol. Whether it goes somewhere or not is speculative. Is it a productive asset? It's not. Is it disinflationary? Sure. Does it have network effect? It has critical mass uh, decentralization. It has a couple of bullish factors to it. Um, I don't expect it to appreciate for any significant reasons. So my good sentiment about the protocol and the people that work on it, and I like Jared very much. I like all of the people that work on it. I know the entire team. I like them all very much. But my sentiment in that regard is completely mutually exclusive from the price action of the asset, uh, of which I see no reason to hold the asset. I see no bullish components currently. Mutually exclusive, love those guys. I think those are great guys, and they have good intentions, good goals, and I most certainly think something can come in time from the protocol. What are the guppies? Guppies are short-term moving averages, so you get to see a lot of them, and it gives you a good sense of support and resistance pressures. Wave mappers, catch Tetranode's tweet about Alameda. Yeah, Alameda. What? That was when he mentioned Alameda's hidden spell. I mean, spell's doing good. I mean, spell is hidden cross chain hard, hard. I mean, that's why I took the position. I just think stablecoin narrative. You got the three. You got Mim. You got Frax, and you got Andre's fixed forex. I think that is big deal because of regulation. USDC, USDT. Those are the prevailing coins, and if the narrative shifts where the capital wants to leave those assets and go to something else, Mimfrax and Andre's Fixed Forex are a massive $100 billion situation. Big deal. Razor, what's your Twitter so I can follow you, sir? At Noah Seidman. There you go. My man. Joe, I took your advice and set up to withdraw earn income once a month from earning DIE. Yeah, so, my man. So the whole point of what I talk about and the strategy that I implement, clearly most of the capital belongs here. Your savings account is here. Avi's a bank. This is banking. This is capital management. There's no point in it being in a bank account unless you wanted to use a bank account for an ACH to pay a credit card. But nowadays, you can pay your credit card using crypto assets. Using crypto.com, or I use the BlockFi credit card, in which case I have to extract to a bank account to pay that bill. But you could use a crypto.com credit card, and you could just transfer stable coins over there and pay real world bills. Crazy times. I don't see any reason. In fact, I consider capital outside of the crypto space to be a burden. It's just annoying to work with. I want to move capital. It's so much easier in the crypto space. Literally, we're watching this stream, and Joe just is going up and up and up. Crazy. Martin, not in the Polygon ecosystem currently. Can't own everything I want to own. Polygon's not going anywhere. That shit is straight up Indian narrative, boys and girls. If you catch my old streams, the Indian narrative is a big deal. And my narratives take 5 to 10 years to play out. My positions take 5 to 10 years to play out. I don't give a crap if there's a deflationary impulse. And that was the whole point of the stream. Macro tipping point. We're at a big macro tipping point where there's some serious shit going down in China. Shit that's as big as 2008. Today. Literally today, September 16th, 2021, is basically 2008, Lehman Brothers. Today, that's what's going on today. And I just think capital flows from underperforming markets to outperforming. Capital flows from shit to less shit. And the crypto space is I see it more and more as a beacon of awesomeness. Just an incredible space of growth and potential and creativity and productivity and opportunity. I don't see any of this in legacy markets. Let's take a look at futures. It's holding that 50 SMA. Extraordinary. Let's flip through the charts. What am I looking at? I got Bitcoin here, still above the 200 SMA on the daily with the golden cross. Curve looks ridiculous. What is it sitting at? 327. If it breaks above that red line, all hell's going to break loose. Oh, wow. Convex at 1457. Wow. The yield on CVX CRV is serious. What was it, like 64%? After a 100% run on curves since September 6th. Crazy. Franco, Spell and Arbitrum. Yes, it is. Becoming a pizza shop is inevitable. Spell captures interest on debt. that's a serious source of income because whether it's speculative debt or people that just want to take leverage for, prudent reasons or take leverage prudently, that's cool. That's important. And it's not necessarily bad. People could use it for whatever they want to use it for. It's freedom. And Mim and Spell are a massive, massive narrative, then attached to $100 billion narrative. Uh, Blagoj. Hey, Noah, great show. Keep it up. A pleasure. Happy to help the best I can. Do you think a dip is inevitable soon? No, I do not. I think this system is at a macro tipping point. I think capital flows from shit to less shit. And dare we say the crypto space is not even shit. It's awesome. Bear in mind, there's only a couple of assets that are meaningful in the crypto space. Most of it's garbage and degenerate gambling and shit like that. But it's a market, and we respect the market for the good and the bad. But I only think a handful of assets are decent, hence the portfolio construction. What do I have? A total of 20 assets? Most 90% are six assets? You can't go all in, can't spread too thin, and concentrated bets change everything. So 90% of my portfolio is six assets. 10% is maybe 10, 15 assets, 15 assets, let's say. And, it gets small at the bottom of the list. Some stuff that I kind of just forget about at this point. What do you think about farming on Frax? Yeah, it's a big deal. Well, not Frax. Yeah, Frax MUSD on Polygon. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I think MUSD is really good. I think MTA has some flawed monetary policy characteristics, which is why it's not outperforming. But MUSD is a heck of a product. So if you could generate FXS yield from Frax MUSD, wonderful. Do I think there's a bit of opportunity cost associated with the position considering market conditions? Sure. But dollars are dollars. And Frax and MUSD is basically one heck of a risk minimized stablecoin position. MUSD is a risk uh, distributed stablecoin, and Frax is what it is. And I think Frax is a big deal. JJ, nobody, do you have insurance? I do not. I do not have any stable coins. I have my, 60% of the portfolio is CVX CRV at this point, so I'm not exposed to the stablecoin complexity. I'm exposed to a relatively traditional historic stake position, which is, I've dabbled with smart contracts a bit, and the code is trivial for a stake position. Um, what rug pulls? What are you betting on, man? What are you buying that you're afraid of a rug pull? What are you buying? You buying, you know, you buying SHIB swap, SHIB coin, rug pulls. What is this, 2020? And you don't buy something that you think is going to rug. Stick with the brand names. You'll make a fortune with brand names. You don't have to buy some tiny Uniswap coin. Everyone was buying that stuff back in May 2020. Uniswap, just garbage. The brand names are going to change everything. We got banking, we got forex, we got money markets, we got everything. The financial system. You don't got to buy shit that you think is going to rug pull. Did he get the good bridging GB airdrop? Yes, I did. I just let it sit there. I'm not selling it. I have no idea what it is. Hopefully, maybe it's something, and I get $1 million out of it. That'll be nice. I don't think anyone will get to the end of their career and say, "Geez, I wish I would have spent more time at the office." Yeah, right. You end up regretting the time you spent at the office. I spent 8 years in New York City on the Long Island Railroad to this, subway, midtown, downtown. I worked, and it's an hour and 45 minutes each way when I lived the furthest in Plainview. It was a nice trip when I lived in Port Washington. That was a 30-minute commute to the city, and I worked upstairs in One Penn Plaza. That was crazy. That was crazy. Um, I missed a lot. I missed my first child. I missed a lot of her life, but my second child, I got to see everything. I've been home. She's going on 3 years old, and I've been basically working at home for the last 3 years. So I got to see the entirety of my second child's childhood, which is nice. And I, there's no going back. Not going back to that. But Enoch, Anchor, yeah, very cool. Anchor's cool. I don't have any position on Terra or Anchor, but it's cool. Malik, Mim is live on Avex. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Lisa, hi Noah, delighted to catch you live. Is there any way for me to bridge my entire CVX stake position? That's unfair. No, there is no CVX. There is no convex or CVX CRV on Arbitrum. That's all Ethereum L1. Um, Truly legit. Hey Noah, what do you think about Phantom? Are they overly reliant on Andre for DeFi? I think Phantom is cool. I have a Phantom position in Spirit. I have an in Spirit position. I think speculatively, Phantom goes multiples over the next 5 to 10 years. A lot of the way I think is a 5 to 10 year time horizon. Years. Check back on Phantom in 5 years. Come on, it's a heck of a network. It's not hot right now. Avalanche is hot. It's all good. Give it a couple years. I mean, folks still thinking in the Bitcoin cycle that we're just going to cycle. It's so different this time. This is so different. It's not even like ICO different. Like ICOs were different than the historic 13-14 cycle. This is so different. It's beyond sustainable. Why the hell is capital going to leave? When you sold an ICO and you got your Bitcoin and your Ethereum back, you had centralized exchanges in 17 and 18. What the hell are you going to do with the capital? Clearly, a lot of capital stayed on those exchanges and they were betting on bear market price action, taking short positions or whatnot and just playing the game trading. But literally, you park stable coins and you'll get 30% on your money as other people are speculating. Oh my God. It's so goddamn different. This is not 17, 18. This is not 17 and 18. There is no way, shape, or form that capital leaves the space at this point. It makes no sense. Where's it going to go? To a minus 1% yielding, real yielding bond? Or a stock market that's zombie companies? The stock market is 5, 6 companies or whatever the hell is running the S&P right now. The hell are you going to buy? You're going to buy a real estate that gives you 5, 10% on your money at best? Oh my God. All the opportunities in the crypto space. It's crazy. Craig's in the house. Always a pleasure, my man. Dylan, no, if I want to learn coding right now, yeah, Solidity, Viper, uh, you know, um, Solidity and Viper. You might want to understand some of the basics. So you might want to take like an introductory Java course or C++ course. But or Python, take an introductory Python course. Viper is very Pythonic. But yeah, Solidity and Viper, and you'll have a career in 5 to 10 years. Um, Alex, hello, good sir. What's your take on Terra? It's meaningful. It's just not on my radar, and that's okay. Just because something's not on my radar doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, Elrond's awesome, and Flair's awesome, and Cardano is gonna be awesome. Just not interested in it, and that's okay right now. And stories change, and shit. That's not called flip flop, and that's called never early and never late. I will do what I feel is in my best interest. I will take my time. I will wait for something to show its hand. And when something is the obvious place to deploy capital, great. You move money over. Is it hard to move money over? No. I'm going to take my damn time. I don't need to jump into things. Yeah, time's a big deal. I like Wonderland. I like Olympus Down nowadays. I think they are serious experiments, and I think they're quite interesting to say the least. ICP, zero interest. Dylan, Fang is so much for the S&P. That's right. How about that? basically the entire S&P. Cap, sushi pumped hard today. Sushi's a big deal. It's FTX. Of course it's going to pump. Put a 5 to 10 year time horizon on sushi and you're going to be good to go. Will things outperform? Sure. Will things underperform? Sure. That's the art of the portfolio. Basically, anything you buy, the big brand names, 5 to 10 years, you're set. The question is now and 1 month and 1 year. Things will outperform. And that's basically how you craft the portfolio. You're expressing what you think will outperform in the short term, midterm, and long term. And that's how you structure and weight a portfolio. I have a bit of Java experience, Dylan. Yeah, so you get the very wordy convention of Java. I myself am a Kotlin guy nowadays. I started my career with Java on Android. But you'll get Solidity. Play around with Dart. Flutter's going to be hot. I'm not a fan of React Native at all. You'll need to know React if you're going to get into smart contract land because you want to crank out a front end. But nowadays, you could actually do Dart and Flutter for web front ends, and I'm pretty sure there's a Web3 package for Dart at this point. I would be surprised. It certainly is, almost unquestionable. So you could actually look into Dart for building your DApp front ends. Interesting, huh? Noah, if Tether goes down, how fast would Curve's pool will be filled with it? Well, what does Tether go down mean? If it goes to 80 cents on the dollar, 70 cents on the dollar? If it goes to 70 cents on the dollar, people will sell it. And then when Tether starts to recollateralize, issue its margin calls, and people start to, re-up their positions, it'll go to 80 cents and then to 90 cents. And then people are going to buy the shit out of it because you can make 20% return. It becomes an asset, just like any other asset. Yes, interested in Harmony. Harmony has much potential over the next 5 to 10 years. Not interested in the short term unless it gets a $500 million incentive program like Avalanche. Huh, huh. Peter, any thoughts on multi-vag MTV? No idea. The sushi pump is related to Shoyu, I would say. Yes, probably. Shit. It's FTX, baby. I got to wrap this up. 56 people in the stream, 20 likes. We can do better. Thursday, September 16th at 12:25 p.m. Thank you, everyone, for joining. As always, tell everyone to subscribe. After party on Discord. Office hours coming in strong as best I can, and I will be doing a vid letter subscription. So I'm going to be cranking out probably some TA stuff, and you guys could subscribe to some videos. There'll be pre-recorded videos. I'll be doing TA, and I think that is an interesting concept. It's a very preliminary concept, but I think that makes sense. So more content coming. I wish you all a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow.